All right, so this is a part 2 of the polygon primitive creation and manipulation. So in the previous video, I showed how to create a range of different polygons via the poly modeling menu here, as well as the shift right mouse button down method. So in this case, I will make a torus. So you can do that by Shift and right mouse button down and drag the torus, or you can click on the torus icon here. So after you create your torus, you will see, and with it selected, you will see that go ahead and open this channel box layer editor tab up, and you can do that by double click or single click, sorry, on that, and that will open up this menu. If you do not have this tab over here, it can be accessed by Windows, General Editors, Channel Box / layer editor. So if you click on that, that will open it up. You will see that when you have your torus selected, you will have all the properties of that torus listed right here. You see that your translate value, your rotate value, and your scale values are all here. And you also have an input for your polytorus. So if I, with the move tool selected, click and drag this torus on the x-axis, you will see that the translate x value changes. So that is where you can track precisely how far an object is moved in Maya. Okay, so let's say you move it that way, and now you want to reset everything back because you want your torus to go back to the center. You can highlight this and type in the value you want. In this case, it is 0. So just hit 0 and enter, and your torus will pop back into the original space. Okay? And this works with translate, rotate, and scale. So if I scale this torus up to 1.636, and if I don't want that scale size, I can just select one and hold down Shift and select all three. It will highlight all three and type in 1 and hit enter. It will reset the scale of that torus back to 1. Okay? Now let's go into subcomponent selection. Okay, so with this torus selected, you can hold down the right mouse button, and now you can see that a menu pops up and you have your edge mode, face mode, vertex mode, and object mode, and those are the four modes that I want to focus on. So up is edge mode, and then you can see that you can select your edges on this torus. Okay. Down is face mode, and you can select your faces on the torus. And to the left, right mouse left is vertex, and you can select your vertices on this torus. If you want to select more than one component at a time, so I will go back to face mode. If you want to select more than one face at the time, the option to do that is hold down Shift, and when I hold down the Shift key on my keyboard, you will see that a little plus sign shows up next to my cursor, indicating now I can select more faces. And with the Shift key held down, and if I hover over a face that's already selected, you will see that it changes from the plus sign to the minus sign, which means you can deselect that face you can remove that face from your selection. Okay. And one more thing is loop selection. So if I want to select this whole loop of polygon, I can select one and hold down Shift and select another and another and another and so on, but that takes a long time. So what I can do is select one face and move to the face next to it in the loop that I want to select. So in this case, it's this loop. So select one face, move it over so that make sure it's highlighted red and that there's a plus sign on your cursor, and double click your left mouse button, and it will select the entire loop. Okay. And if I want to select the loop that way, what I can do is select the face here, hold down the Shift key and double click, and it will select the loop that face that way, the face loops that way. And this will also work for edges as well. So let's right click and drag up to edge mode and select the edge you want to be part of that loop. So this one, if I want to select these edges right here, so select one edge and then hold down Shift and then double click, you will see that the entire loop is selected. And now you can scale it up, scale it down, whatever you want to do with it. And this will also work with vertices as well. So you can see that select one vert and double click on the verts next to it, and it will select the vert loop in that direction. And now you can do the same thing. You can move them, you can scale them, whatever you want. Okay?